What's up guys, it's Bree here from Neighbourhood. Are you looking for your properties in your HubSpot portal to be a little bit more intuitive? Well, today we're going to go through one of the newer features in HubSpot, which is Conditional Property Logic. Before we get started, it's important to note that this feature is only available to those of you who are using HubSpot CRM Hub, Pro or Enterprise. If you want to take today's lesson offline, we'll make sure to put a free downloadable PDF in the description below. All right, let's get into it. So before we get into actually creating the property conditional logic, I want to show you what it actually looks like so you get a bit of an idea what to expect and also how to plan this out before you actually start creating. So if I go to my own record, for example, I'm going to show you something I set up a little bit earlier just so you can have a look and know what to expect. So when we're talking about conditional property logic, most of the time you will see it on the record, so whether that's a contact record, company record, deal record, etc. So if you have a look on the left-hand side here, I've got a couple of properties here, but the one I have set up with the conditional property logic is the account types. So to put yourself in kind of the headspace of how you would use this, think about getting a new contact or a new lead into your HubSpot CRM, and you're filling out some of the information that you've collected for them, maybe on the phone or through email, for example. So I'm going to select account types on the left here, and I'm going to select business. Now you'll see here, down the bottom, it's not actually letting me save it. And that's because I have set up a required conditional property. So you can see underneath account types, we've now got this new pop-up here that says dependent properties, which means in order to finish this task of updating a property, I need to put the company name into the record. So I'm going to just put in Neighbourhood, and you'll see now that I have the option to save it. So a use case for this would be basically to streamline and also improve your efficiency and your processes and operations for multiple teams, whether that's your sales team or marketing team, to make sure you're collecting the right information when it happens. So let's get into actually setting this up. So to get into the settings, I'm going to click on the cog in the left-hand corner there, and we're going to go into properties. Now, before we set up any conditional logic, what we want to do is make sure that we have created the properties that we want to be a part of this conditional logic. So I thought a good example for this one, which is something we've actually seen before, is for a healthcare industry company. So for example, let's say a new lead has come in and they're looking for a service within the allied health area. So the first thing we need to do is create a property that lists all the different services that we need to list out for them. And then the second property we'll want to look at or fill in will be the actual allied health service itself. So let's create some quick properties here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to label it just service. Let's call it industry service, since that's already taken. Contact information group, and we're going to make it a drop-down select, okay? So we might have allied health, we might have physio, even though I think physio might be under allied health, and let's just put hospital as well. Okay, so that one's created. So the next one we want to do is the one that will pop up once we've selected allied health, for example. So I'm going to create another one called allied health service categories. Okay. Once again, I'll put it in the contact information, and we're going to put some more drop-down selects here. So it might be a dietitian, it might be a physio, which I put before, and I'll just put another test in there, make sure I'm spelling everything correctly. Okay, so we've created the properties that we want to use for the conditional logic setup. So now what you're going to do, in the same place, we're going to click on conditional property logic. And this is where you're going to start building your logic. So if you have used the forms logic before, it's very similar, but if you haven't, I will take you through that. So we're going to click Create Logic. And the first thing we're going to do is select the trigger. So what needs to happen in order for the next property to show up? So I'm going to click this and find the one that I just created, which was industry service. And we're going to say if it's equal to allied health, show something else. So I'm going to add this one, which we called allied health service categories. And this is the point in which you can either make it required or optional. So if you click required, that the person who's filling in this information won't be able to save that data entry until they've completed all the data in all the properties required. You can also continue to add other dependent properties as well. So you can maybe have 3 that pop up when that person selects the industry service of allied health. For now, we're just going to do 1. We're going to make it required, and we're going to save the logic. And that rule is now all set up, but you may not be able to see it straight away on the record. So something else we have to do is make sure it's visible on the record itself. In order to do that, you'll need to go to the relevant object. In this case, it is contacts, and you're going to go to record customization here. You're going to configure the left sidebar where all the properties live, and we're just going to fix up the default view for now. So if I go in here, I'm going to find my new industry service one, and I'll add that, and you can see that's now on the bottom here. You'll also notice it's not showing the dependent property. That won't happen until we actually select it. And I'm going to click save. And now we've created a very own property conditional logic. If we want to have a look at that, let's go back into the contact and let's see what we have just set up. So if you have a look on my screen here, you can see this industry service has now been added. If I select that and select allied health, you will see now that our new property, our allied health service categories, has popped us for us to fill in. So I might click dietitian, and then I'll click save. Now, I think there's a couple of use cases for this one as well. You could make an entire section conditional with different logic, so that way it's not overwhelming on the left hand side with a bunch of different properties, and you're getting the data and filling in the data you need at the right time. When someone fills in one thing, they know they need to know the other thing as well. Another important thing to note is that not all properties can be the trigger for this conditional logic. For example, if we go back into the settings, you will see that some of these are grayed out. So if I go to create logic again, for example, and we want to do it based on, if I scroll down, you will see that we've got a couple of grayed out ones. So it's good to keep in mind that you can't use all of them, but you can definitely use your custom properties if you're creating them. Another good tip for this, and in general when creating logic, is to always plan it out as well. So grab a Miro board or a piece of paper and plan out the steps you want for those dependent properties to show up. All right, and there you have it. You now know how to use conditional property logic to make your processes more efficient and fast. Now, if you're after a PDF version of what we've talked about today, you can check out our description below for a free downloadable version. If you feel like you've learned something new from this video and you're keen to check out some more things about HubSpot, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you can keep up to date with all our new videos and content. That's all from me, guys. Happy HubSpotting.